find out what happened.
Okay, wasn't you just talking to her? Can she provide all them information to you?
Well, let me ask you this. I was just talking to her. What if she told me that you beat the out of her and you jumped on top of her and started punching her in the face? Should I just go ahead and take that?
Okay, but don't you know?
It's your side of the story. Give your side.
All these prescriptions, but you want to be great. Being great is really pushing the envelope. You know what I'm saying?
Gervonta Tank Davis has finally spoken out, following reports of his rest and the apparent collapse of his much-hyped showdown with Jake Paul, the undefeated lightweight champion now finds himself at the center of a civil lawsuit filed in Miami-Dade County, accusing him of multiple serious offenses, including battery.
He's a lightweight. So, by all means, if they make a few quid and nobody gets hurt, then great. But I certainly wouldn't be paying a penny to watch it. I think it's just absolutely ridiculous, farcical. Who wants to watch an exhibition? Gervonta Davis is in his prime years. Why is he wasting his time? Why is he having a rematch with the fella he got a draw with? Why is he not fighting? Why is he not going up a weight and fighting Lopez and Garcia's and them fighters? Why is he fighting Jake Paul in an exhibition? I get the money's great, but he's in the prime years. This is his best year. This is where he can become. Maybe you don't want to be an all-time great. Maybe you don't want to do all that stuff. Maybe you just want to.
Aggravated battery, false imprisonment, kidnapping, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. The allegations, if proven true, could have severe consequences for both his career and reputation. As of now, the case remains a civil matter, with no new criminal charges tied to the complaint. Still, the timing couldn't be worse.
WBC lightweight world champion Gervonta Tank Davis was arrested earlier this week for a closed fist slapping his daughter's mother. What's a closed fist slap? Is it like this? Bro, you can't be closed fist slapping women. You can't be slapping women at all. But don't you know your hand is like Thor's hammer? Bro, you can go to jail for even flicking somebody, man. Don't you got a fight coming up? Or are you trying to ruin your career?
Landing just weeks before the November 14th bout that was set to headline Jake Paul's next pay-per-view event. While Davis hasn't issued a direct public statement, his team has been careful with their words. His longtime coach, Calvin Ford, told reporters that Davis is doing great and that they're still figuring out what's going on. The restrained response appears to be a calculated move to keep Davis out of the media spotlight while his legal and promotional teams assess the situation behind the scenes. Meanwhile, Jake Paul's most valuable promotions MVP confirmed it has launched an internal investigation into the allegations. In their official statement, MVP said they condemn any form of violence and are gathering information before making any decisions. Technically, the fight remains on the calendar, but insiders say cancellation is now all but certain. Boxing journalist Dame Mar fueled speculation on X, formerly Twitter, writing, "I'm hearing it's being postponed. Not sure on the date, but I'm about 80% certain the November 14th event is cancelled." The matchup was originally planned for Atlanta State Farm Arena before being relocated to Miami, with promoters billing it as a collision of worlds.
The making, when a fairly novice Jake Paul made a wish list of future opponents, and right in the middle of that list was Gervonta Tank Davis. Many laughed at the time, and some still can't believe we're here. But these two young men are the face of boxing for Gen Z and Gen Alpha. They are the two biggest boxers in America, and they are putting it all on the line. One has the speed, the skill, the accuracy, and the one-punch knockout power. The other has the size, the force, and the unbreakable confidence to make this must-see Netflix. The size difference is
a viral YouTube star versus a world champion boxer. The contract reportedly included a 195-pound limit and 12-ounce gloves, rules that drew criticism from purists but generated huge online buzz. Still, the fight's announcement split the boxing community. Critics accused Davis of prioritizing money over competition, claiming he's avoided elite names like Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez in favor of an easier, more lucrative exhibition.
Watch this Tank Davis versus Jake Paul. I want Tank Davis to knock his block off. I'm sick of the Paul brothers, both of them. I can't stand either one of them. And I know I'll get pounded with emails. He's just jealous. No, I'm not jealous of them. I could care less how much money they make. I don't like their attitude. I don't like the way they conduct themselves. I don't like the way they think, you know.
Initially, Davis was expected to rematch Lamont Roach after their controversial draw. A bout that would have reinforced his status as one of the sport's most dominant forces. But when the Jake Paul offer came in, reportedly worth $50 million, his team changed course. Even commentators like Stephen A. Smith have noted how modern boxing has shifted.
We wasn't gonna ever fight no Shakur Stevenson, no Keyshawn Davis, no Teofimo Lopez, no none of them dudes. You know what I'm talking about? We gotta think and look at Tank Davis's whole career. He done made some bread, but at the end of the day, all that bread that he made, when it's all said and done, he ain't gonna get no respect from his peers, because we gonna look down his resume and we gonna be like, he was trash, he was some trash, he was some trash, he was alright, but he was never like that. He was okay, he was some trash, he was some trash.
Where crossover spectacles and influencer fights often overshadow legacy-defining matchups. For Davis, the fight wasn't just about testing his skills. It was about tapping into a new, global audience that extends far beyond the sport's traditional fan base. Now, however, that strategy may have backfired. With legal troubles mounting, promotional confidence wavering, and fans questioning his focus, the entire event appears to be unraveling. So what do you think? Is the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis fight falling apart because of low demand?
He's in a division where he's got killers all in his division. You know, Shakur, Haney, who's 147. You know, you look at Teo, for example, Keyshawn, and then you choose to fight someone like Paul. Surely that's a concern when you do look at it like that.
Yeah, but again, it's the world we're in. If you can get a huge amount of money to fight someone who's never boxed really before, you're going to do it. You know, Floyd Mayweather boxed Logan Paul with a huge weight disparity.
He was done by then.
I know,
he was done. Like, this is an active world champion.
But it's the world we're in.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. You know, when it comes down to it. It's just like Conor McGregor fighting Floyd Mayweather. Two completely different sports. Was the biggest pay-per-view in recent times, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Maybe if ever.
Those are like different comparisons, though, if you think about it. Do you not like...
Yeah, but the sport's in a wild place, isn't it? That's like, I'm just like the reality of where we are, you know. And I can't really say much when we're talking about Jake Paul fighting Anthony Joshua at the same time.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you think Tank should get stripped of his title?
Yeah, I think anyone who, just in general, doesn't defend their title to do something else should get stripped, because it shouldn't hold the belts up. You know, in any, like, I think that should be the reality in anything. You know, if you're not going to defend your belts, or you're not defending, sometimes there's the rules. Obviously, if you fight for a belt at a higher weight, you can retain the belt until there. But if you're not, don't have intention of defending the belts, you shouldn't hold the belts up. People should get the opportunity to fight for them.
What happened with the failed negotiations between AJ and Jake Paul?
I think anything's still possible. That was always discussed for next year. You know, this fight's November, early part of next year.
Or is this a strategic pause to protect reputations until the legal dust settles? Drop your thoughts below and stay tuned for more breaking updates on one of the most dramatic storylines in boxing right now.